and welcome to The Reasons I'm Broke, number 68. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Alex.
As I said last week, we will do another part for the Superman vs. Batman script reading. It's been a couple of months since we did the last one, and I think we're going to really dig into the script and hopefully try to finish it this session.
Yeah, we're maybe a quarter of the way through as I look over it right now, so we got some work ahead of us.
Yeah, so we're going to jump right in. You can follow along on io9.com if you just type in Superman vs. Batman 2002 script, and we're starting on page 30 right after the scene with Bruce and Alfred. So we're going to kick off with the interior scene, the Kent house late at night. Okay, so a little higher than that, on the command center.
Bruce crosses to a shining steel door and keypad. He punches buttons. As the door opens, a light gleams down upon the Batman costume and cowl, hung in storage, armored and jet black, awaiting resurrection. Clark's room, late night. Clark has fallen asleep on the bed, fully dressed. A woman's voice is heard gently calling from downstairs. It's his mother's voice. Clark! Clark! Kent's house, late night. Clark comes downstairs into the dark, empty hallway. No one here. Though he remains alone, quiet voices are heard. You're special, son. There's no denying it. From the day that rocket ship crashed down. Well, of course, we always knew you were destined for great things. There's a whole wide world beyond Smallville. A world that needs you. Kent house kitchen. Clark enters. Touches his mother's apron, still hanging on the pantry peg. Looks at his father. Wait a minute. So, Clark enters, touches his I guess they're doing a kid thing, but they never said he's a kid now. They're just like, so he's just reaching down. Like, I'm gonna touch your apron, Mom. He looks at his father's old pipe. Human beings are good, Clark. Deep down, they just get lost sometimes. They just need someone to show them the way. Maybe that's why you're here. Maybe that's your destiny. Clark lowers his head, along with his ghosts, grieving. So they all just stop and lower their head. They just stop, and it's just awkward. Just this awkward moment of them all just lowering their heads. All right. Exterior, over Gotham City, night. 5 gargoyles peer down from one skyscraper's gothic precipice, high above traffic-jammed streets. One gargoyle withdraws into the shadow.
I'm assuming that's Batman.
No, it's not. It's Gargoyle. It was Goliath. Exterior, bank, night. A homeless man guides his overburdened cart down the littered sidewalk past the Gotham National Bank. Interior, bank. Ropes lead up through the jagged hole in the marble floor. From here, we follow wet footprints to scattered pieces of safe-cracking equipment at the open vault. One-Eyed Charlie had a dream Batman was back. Inside the vault, 2 armed thieves, leader and young thief, wait crouched while a third thief uses a blowtorch on one of the safe deposit boxes. All wear black, sporting elaborate goggles. Whatever. Remember the kind of scared you get when you're a little kid? Ghost stories, Pops. I don't think there ever was no Batman. Drowning, big scared. That's what he'd make you feel like. The kid stares at him a beat, shakes it off. So some whack job went running round with wings on? So what? So you shoot him. Bang. Done. A safe deposit door clatters to the vault floor. Leader and young thief look up. Third thief grins. Moments later, young thief yanks out the safe deposit drawer, opens it, filled with sparkling diamonds. The diamonds are dumped into a backpack worn by Leader. Outside the vault, Leader and young thief wait as third thief starts down into the hole. A shadow crosses from above. Leader looks up. In the skylight, was that a glimpse of a scallop-edged cape? What's wrong? Nothing. Nothing's wrong, see? Drainage system, night. Leader is last to climb down the labyrinth of round pipeways. They all flick on the high-density lights on their goggles. Leader's light is a black light, illuminating a day-glow line of spray paint on the pipe wall. Their road map. Let's get going. Leader, young thief, third thief splash onwards, up to their ankles in water. Follow as they pick up the pace at a jog, footsteps resounding, turning here, turning there, guided by the glowing paint through these never-ending passageways. Ahead, they pass an adjoining pipe mouth. First Leader, then young thief, finally third thief, and something black and terrible leaps out, engulfing third thief. Further on, leader and young thief run, oblivious, till young thief glances back, slowing. Oh, hey! Hey, stop! Leader looks back, halting. He walks to join young thief, their lights revealing the empty tunnel behind. Where'd he go? This is too much for leader. He flees onwards. Young thief gives one last look, then runs to follow. At a pipeway intersection, leader and young thief arrive at a knee-deep four-way intersection. Leader spins, searching, black light shining, but the paint trail is abruptly gone. He washed it off. He washed off the paint. What are you talking about? He who? Okay. It's this one. Come on, this is the way. No, we came through here. Leader's already scrambling down his chosen passage. Young thief pulls his handgun, headed in another direction. Down the pipe. Young thief runs, stumbles, falls. Ahead, Batman drops from vertical pipe, cape sweeping down. He stands, suddenly blocking the way. Young thief halts, face to face with Batman, terrified, quaking, unable to form words.
Use your gun.
Young thief realizes, raises the weapon. Batman swings. The gun fires as it bounces off the wall.
Too late.
Batman punches, smashing the thief's face, feels the punch, looks at his hand, balls and unballs a fist. Feels good. Elsewhere, leader splashes headlong, giving a departure cry as he finds himself at a dead end. And that's when young thief's blood-curdling scream echoes down the passageways. Whoa! Leader spins, freaking. He pulls his gun, facing the dark beyond his goggle light, opens fire. Bullets sparking, ricocheting down the pipe till the gun goes empty. Click, click, click.
It's just you and me now.
Leader throws the gun down the pipeway, struggling to pull off the backpack, putting his hands in the air. I give up. I surrender, say.
You should get your friends to the hospital. Compound fractures can be very time-sensitive injuries.
Batman arrives into the... Wait a minute. Is he just telling him, like, all right, you can go. Go get you guys to the hospital. Batman arrives into the light, stalking slowly forward. I told you already. I surrender. Batman spins and kicks, sending Leader flying to the filth.
Not yet.
Leader scrambles up, swings. Batman smashes Leader to the floor. Savage, he stands... Oh, man, that is unlegible.
Yeah, when they scan the script, some of these, it's very hard to read.
Yeah, he begins punching, venting rage with heavy blows. Batman finally pulls the bloodied thug up. Very close.
You used to run with Joker, so you're my man, Eddie. Spread the word. Batman lives. And whoever's masquerading as the Clown Prince, his blood will spill. Closer still. He is a dead man.
Leader can only whimper. Batman drops him. Batman lifts the backpack, overturns it, glinting diamonds tumbling through a drainage grate. Batman disappears the way... So he just let him go. He's just like, I'm not returning these. That takes time. Alright. Kent Farm. Dawn. High angle. Dawn paints this tableau of Americana. Low clouds, sweeping crimson, endless fields shining a radiant gold. Clark, small from this height, crosses the field toward the red board barn, leaving a glittering path in the morning dew.
So this is where they would play Sting's Field of Gold as part of the soundtrack?
Yeah, it would. Alright, Kent Barn, day. The barn door rumbles open. Clark enters in jeans and flannel shirt. Takes a moment to feel the past.
To feel the past.
To feel the past. Well, it's just, they're flashing back to Smallville. They're just taking moments. He's climbing up the rope and he sees, what's-his-face in X-ray vision. He crosses in front of an old harvester to the center of the cement floor. He stands still a beat, staring down. His eyes flash blue. He's got ice powers now, through his ice vision.
Okay.
Clark drops to his knees. He balls both fists. A beat. Then Clark smashes his hands through the cement floor, pulling away chunks of concrete as others tumble downward. Fall with a storm of concrete into a hidden bunker to reveal what stands there, buried these so many years. A gleaming silver spaceship, pointing towards the sky. The interior of the Kent barn, hidden bunker. Clark stands on cement floor, surrounded by old dirt walls, touches a cracked lantern, forgotten by Jonathan long ago. He turns and stares up at a mighty silver spire. He says something, don't know what. And the ship suddenly lives. Embossed metal symbols glowing. Powering up. The ship's voice, female. Kelshara, Kaluthu. Clark.
Ha anta! Ha anto!
You thought I forgot about that voice. I did not. Stops. Shakes his head at himself, not remembering. Finally.
English!
Ship's voice. English. Standard. Clark.
Initiate systems check.
On the hall, a sundial-like timer illuminates around, showing sections, then goes dark. Only the first section staying lit. Systems check in progress. Exterior, Smallville, Town Square. Postcard perfect. The square's alive in the unseasonable heat. Clark's Ford parks near the hardware store. As Clark gets out, a few folks recognize him, greeting him. Further on, at the electronics shop storefront, a few people watch the televisions in the window. Clark stops, joins them. Female reporter. Confirmed that Batman has returned to the streets of Gotham City. On TV, the Bat emblem is shown behind the reporter. After what police have described as a night of unusually violent clashes between Batman and members of Gotham Criminal. Clark's deeply troubled, moving on. Hardware store. Clark stands at the front of the counter? You can do the shopkeeper.
25 cases? That's a lot of lead ballast you got there.
Heavy. Can someone help me load my truck, Al?
Boys are already on it.
Hands Clark the bill in exchange for his credit card.
I must say, it's good seeing Jonathan and Martha's boy again. It's been a while.
I always meant to come back more often. I just never did. Hold up a second, Al. I forgot my head if it wasn't screwed on.
Down one aisle. Clark chooses a lantern. A lovely red-haired woman searches the opposite shelf. Clark's age. White medical coat. Sleeves rolled up. She and Clark bump.
Excuse me,
Sorry. It's Lana. Their eyes meet. Recognition is instantaneous and powerful.
Lana?
Clark, what are you doing here? Clark's a bit uncomfortable, adjusting his glasses.
Just picking up some supplies.
Not precisely what I meant. The surprise is gone now, replaced by a sly smile and powerfully intelligent eyes. This is Lana Lang.
Yeah, right. Here, just decided to pay a visit.
And me still dressed for the prom. What? Clark looks at her white lab coat, frowns. No, underneath. Come on, tell me you didn't peek.
What's going on?
Well, we know like Bruce was a lush, if anybody
Right.
listened to the previous one. So, more of that. He's like, I'm doing an adult superhero movie.
Everyone just throws themselves. This is the opposite, because Bruce had to hit on them. Here, I guess the women just throw themselves at Superman.
Yeah.
Which, of course, he wants none of that.
Yeah. Clark opens his mouth to speak, eyes going wide. Relax, Boy Scout. I'm kidding. Joke? Humor? Still the same old Clark. She leans up and kisses him on the cheek. Real affection there. And the ghost of something more. How's Lois?
Fine. Great. Fine.
If Lana registers his deception, she's too polite to comment on it. Her eyes are light, now playful. You look well, although I guess that's predictable.
So do you, Lana. It's nice to see you. It's always nice to see you.
Lana smiles, a gesture sad and sweet. She holds his eyes a beat too long, then looks away.
Well, I better fly.
Lana's eyes narrow. An actual joke?
You take care, Lana.
You too, Clark. Clark nods, watches as she turns back to the shelves. That's when the front door bangs open, revealing a distraught teen. I was trying to conjure up the
Teenager.
squeaky teen from Simpsons. Help! Somebody! Dr. Lang! Dr. Lang! Smallville Bridge, high angle. Lana and Clark race across the bridge toward two teen girls who are staring anxiously at the fast water below. Smallville Railroad tracks. Lana and Clark stand listening to a frantic... "We were playing Truth or Dare. Billy got Dare. Marna said he had to swim into the air pocket inside of the old baler wreck." Clark, close. His expression darkens. "He never came back up." Clark looks to the river. His eyes flash blue. Again with the blue. Like, what's going on with the blue eyes?
I guess that's the X-ray. I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I gotcha. Yeah, he's looking at the ground before. Clark POV. At the bottom of the river, Billy is trapped in the rusting, upturned carcass of a car, face pressed to the top, sucking in the last of a dwindling air bubble. He kicks, trying to unwedge his foot from behind the old seats, and the car shifts, water covering the boy's face. Back to scene. Clark dives right off the bridge, knifing straight into the rushing water below. Whoa! That was the girl, random girl. River, underwater. Clark rockets toward the wreck. The boy is unconscious now, or worse. Which is dead, I guess. The last bubbles drifting past his closed eyes. Clark tears the car door free, swims in, and rips away the seat. Then he takes Billy into his arms, pushing off towards the light of the surface above. Looks like it's a hospital. I can't really read
Emergency room.
Yeah. Billy sits on a gurney, blanket wrapped around his shoulders, sipping tea, feet hanging in front of a space heater. Lana stands talking to Billy's mother. By the old woman's expression, we wouldn't want to be Billy. She smiles as the woman thanks her, comes towards us to find Clark leaning against the wall, towel around his neck. "He's gonna be fine, at least until he gets home." Clark smiles. She grabs a towel, dries her hair, wraps it back around his shoulders. She's like, "Let me take that wet towel." She's drying his hair, yeah. "You want dry clothes? We got some scrubs around here. Green as this fall's black."
Hard to resist, but I've got to be getting home.
The disappointment flashes in Lana's eyes, just for a second. "I'll walk you out." Smallville Hospital, exterior, day. Lana and Clark stand by the ER doors. Autumn winds blow. She reaches up, touches the orbit under her eye.
The orbit?
The orbit.
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
I she's just pushing, like when you like take your finger and just kind of push your eye a little bit and kind of like get double vision. Like, I don't even know what she's doing.
So the next line.
How exactly do they not fall off? I guess she's talking about her glasses, but like, there's such a better way to write that. It's just, hey, like, she makes like glasses motion with her fingers, like she's touches the orbit under her eye.
Always pays to keep a spare.
Lana glances around and, seeing no one, reaches forward and takes the glasses off his face, turns them over in her hand. "These are awful, by the way." She puts them on herself, tries to look serious. "This is a job for..." Pulling them off. "Superman." Clark, I guess, receives back the glasses and puts them back on.
Can you not do that?
But by his smile, he likes it. He likes her. The moment lasts. Then Clark looks away, to the horizon, hands in his pockets.
"I miss this place."
"This place missed you." Lana reaches forward, moves a lock of hair from his face. And we all know which lock of hair. That's that one spit curl. That's what she moved from his face. Some significance to this only these two know. We're always doing this, saying goodbye. It's our strong suit. Clark just nods. Lana smiles, brave again. "Thanks for saving the kid, hero. Need a ride back to your car, or are you going to..." Lana holds her arms out, making a flying motion. I want somebody to just watch around the corner like, what the hell? I guess, when we get to the next page, I guess this is like one of those guys who is just like, "Lana was always the true love of Clark, not Lois. Lana."
Because so far I like Lana more than I do Lois, just from the way he's writing her.
Yeah. Well, we didn't even see Lois in here. They're already divorced.
No, that's right.
Divorced Clark. All right.
"Well, I'm Clark Kent these days, and he doesn't do a lot of..."
Motions flying.
"It startles people."
A brief smile.
"I need the walk anyway."
No, he doesn't. Clark smiles, turns, starts to head off. Hold on Lana. Long beat. Then, "Clark?" Clark turns. "I just wanted to say, I'm sorry about Lois." So she knew? Didn't she ask him like a little while ago, like, what's going on? Was that just polite?
I think she was just being polite, but she's clearly trying to get with Superman.
Yeah.
She knows about the divorce.
She's like, I'll wear the bat cowl. I will. All right, he looks at her, startled. Lana holds up her hand, taps her naked ring finger. Clark looks at his own ringless finger. Oh, well. She is Batman. She's a detective. She's like, look. Would it be too much of an imposition, say, if an old friend dropped by for a visit? Oh, Batman. Oh, different old friend. Clark does something, but then he smiles.
I'd like that. I'd like that very much.
Clark walks away. Lana watches him go. Exterior warehouse district, Gotham, twilight. We focus on one brick warehouse with signage so ancient that the words Acme Novelty Incorporated are barely discernible. Like a lot of this script. Acme Warehouse, twilight. Here, we find an adult-sized crib, outsized rocking chair, and giant teddy bear. Across the way, much of the loft space is occupied by a sort of laboratory area. Shelves hold model cars and trains, jack-in-the-boxes, grotesque puppets, and dolls with terrible visages. A balding man in an electric wheelchair, W.P. Schott, a.k.a. Toyman, works at a clustered work table. His left hand is a mechanical claw. He uses tweezers on a small time bomb, complete with a small clock and diminutive sticks of TNT. Toyman carefully lifts the time bomb, placing it inside the open chest cavity of a cute doll.
So I guess the Toyman is in this too. We got Toyman, Luthor, the Joker.
We got everybody.
Yeah.
Without looking, Toyman searches with his good right hand, feeling for something on the table. A gloved hand offers the screwdriver Toyman was groping for.
Groping for.
Toyman glances to see Batman watching over his shoulder. Thank you, Batman. Toyman accepts the screwdriver, matter of fact. Yelps. Batman! Sweet Fanny Adams! What the hell are you doing here?
Looking for you. Found you.
How did you get past the alarm system?
Tore it out.
What do you want? Or do you just go door to door, seeking out reformed... something? Villains? Ex-villains? Batman doesn't answer as Toyman becomes aware of the work before him, trying nonchalantly to cover it up with a rag. This is a harmless hobby, purely for my own amusement. What are you going to do? Have me taken in for unlawful tinkering?
He almost sounds like he wants it.
I know. Batman holds up the bumblebee dart that killed his wife.
Looks like your work, Toyman.
What is that? I don't know what you're implying, but I've never seen that before in my... Batman holds the dart under Toyman's chin. Toyman freezes.
If you've never seen it, then there's nothing more for you to fear than a pinprick.
Careful now. I'm a bleeder. Batman holds the dart very close to Toyman's pulsing jugular, so the needle tips scrape against the flesh.
You're not quite the man you were last time we met.
Occupational hazard. Keeping the dart to Toyman's neck, Batman reaches to spin the handle of a large workable vise, opening it.
Put your hand in.
Toyman places his mechanical claw in the vise.
Nice try.
Toyman huffs. Huh. I'm glad I used the voice. Putting his healthy right hand in. Batman tightens the vise, putting the card away. Toyman winces.
I'm going to ask questions. For every answer I don't like, the handle churns.
Subtle.
In the past, you've supplied the Joker with his deadly toys.
That was never proven. Batman tightens the vise. Toyman bites his lip, sweating.
Who did you make this for?
Now you look. I've never produced any such weaponry, nor supplied it to any persons for any diabolical purposes. You hear me? You may take this as my absolute, resolutely, unequivocal denial. Batman tightens. Toyman's hand is heard cracking. He screams, "Ah!"
Who's impersonating the Joker?
Just then, across the loft, a toy airplane crashes in through a warehouse window, its engine whirring. Oh, boy. It's an old-fashioned biplane with a 5-foot wingspan, painted in green and purple. It's heading straight for them, and from behind the Joker's grin painted across the plane's nose, a small machine gun opens fire. Batman dives just as the Joker plane strafes, bullets ripping into Toyman's workbench. Batman rolls, recovers with a small batarang held ready. He watches as the Joker plane buzzes across the open warehouse, beginning its turn back towards Toyman. Okay, Uncle, get me out! Toyman's trapped, his hand caught, unable to manipulate the vice with his claw hand, looking up.
Who's impersonating the Joker?
Please! The Joker plane is coming back. Toyman beads sweat. No one, I swear, no one! The plane is closing. He's back! Joker's back! Batman expression darkens. He throws the batarang. The batarang zips through the air, strikes the vice handle, spinning it, freeing Toyman's hand. Toyman grips the controls of his chair, wheeling clear as bullets explode across the floor. Looks up. Batman's gone. Toyman barrels toward the service elevator. Toy plane is closing. Bombardier doors open, revealing a toy bomb. Shit!
I like the Toyman. I hope he wins.
I hope he wins. He at the end of the day, it's just him pushing through rubble. He's like, oh, I did it!
It's gonna be the after credit scene.
Yeah. Acme Novelty Night. The side of the building explodes as the entire service elevator is blown out through the wall. Batman looks down from the warehouse roof, illuminated by flames below, scanning nearby streets. Not a soul in sight. Push in on his face, reflecting the burning, hellish amber, as if his eyes themselves have become fire. Back to the Kent Farm barn. The simple structure in deepening autumn, dark. Steady rhythmic clanging. See the interior of the barn. Pan across the broken floor, now covered with 2x4s, past empty ballast boxes. More clanging, pull back. Clark stands shirtless over a burning fire pit, hammering the now hot and pliable lead into a form we cannot see. Or Superman, because it's lead. He sets down the hammer, reaches into the embers with bare hands, and removes a glowing lead box about a foot square. Clark, what the hell? Clark immerses the box in water. Steam hisses, that kind of thing. Woman's voice. Clark! Clark! Exterior of the Kent barn. Clark, pulling on a t-shirt, emerges to find Lana, in a summer dress, wrestling bags of takeout from her car. When I said visit from an old friend, did I mention today? She looks radiant in the waning light. He glances back over his shoulder at the barn. She knows him too well. We can't be fighting evil all the time now, can we? He still seems unsure. That's when Lana begins fanning her chest. Then puts the back of her hand to her forehead in fine damsel in distress form. Oh my, I feel faint. Oh. Her knees buckle.
Superman's like, that's what I do around Batman. You can't take that from me.
Oh, help me, Superman. And she falls, only to be caught by Clark, now impossibly holding her in his arms. She grins. He grins back. Works every time. Interior of the Kent house at night. Lit by a few lanterns, Lana follows Clark inside, catches the door before it bangs shut, smiles at Clark. Out of respect for your mama.
Now there was a woman who hated a banging door.
Clark goes to the sink, washes his hands as Lana begins laying out the table, knows right where everything is. What are you working on out there? Clark just shakes his head. She knows the signal. Top secret, save the world stuff? Clark dries his hands, comes to help with the table.
Something like that.
Lana is taking out the glasses, holds one up. It's a Welch's grape jelly jar with Archie and company jamming around the side. Clark Kent, you are a total thief.
Oh, sure, I gave that back.
She just stares at him.
Come on, I have the rest. I need a jughead for my collection.
If only the world knew. Clark has moved to the picture window, stares out the glimmering twilight. The first fireflies flicker. You okay? He doesn't turn.
It's just, this is the only place I feel human.
See Lana as she moves up behind him, not touching, but very close. By her face, this pain he carries is familiar to her. Kent House, sunset. Sunset? It was night just a moment ago.
Yeah, with the fireflies flickering and everything.
What happened? Picture perfect. This man and woman stand together, framed in a window lit by lantern light. They turn into the room, away. Batcave, training room, night. A shirtless Bruce there's a lot of shirtless guys in this.
Back-to-back scenes.
A shirtless Bruce hangs on a set of gymnastic rings, arms extended in an iron cross position, straining at the incredible agonizing exertion, mind gaining perfect focus.
All right, so he's struggling, so... Alfred!
So, barely different. But
Barely.
he's not going to let it show. Bruce opens his eyes. Alfred not standing before him? Now standing before him. Bruce drops... Yeah.
To a perfect stand, whatever. I need the car.
Batcave, vehicle platform. The platform turns to reveal a car out of myth. New, sharper, jet black lines. Wait a minute. How do you have something out of myth, but new? Glowing helm. Tomorrow's Batmobile.
Tomorrow's Batmobile.
Mythical Batmobile. Alright, upstate forest, Batcave, secret entrance. A hidden doorway opens in a sheer rock wall. With a roar, the Batmobile explodes into the darkness. Rocketing down a roadway crowded by dense forest, a sleek black missile speeding away from the lights of Gotham. Kent House, evening. Clark and Lana sit finishing plates of ribs, corn on the cob, cold cans of beer. Clark lifts a takeout box.
You are one hell of a cook.
True. Hot sauce. Not a nickname. Clark grins, takes his napkin, wipes away the sauce. So, you want to talk about what's bothering you? Clark opens his mouth, but she cuts him off. Don't insult me. Clark just nods.
That car, today, in the lake, you know how it got there?
She looks away, expression darkening. Knew this was coming. Lex cut the brake lines on Jimmy Baylor's car. Is that Timmy Baylor's car or Jimmy Baylor? Yeah,
I think
Timmy
it's
Baylor.
Timmy.
Back when we were kids. Back when he was trying to prove you were Superman.
But I saved Timmy anyway. Pulled him out without Lex ever seeing me.
You saved the day.
I just forgot about the car, and now a kid almost drowned inside it.
And somehow you're responsible? Is that it? Clark takes a beat before answering.
How does it work, Lana? When do we stop being responsible?
We're not talking about a car in the river, are we?
No, I guess not. Something's happened.
Lex's grand plan to fucking cut some brake lines.
He's like, I figured it out. Pushes back his chair.
What would you say to a walk?
Thought you'd never ask. Kent Farm, night. Clark and Lana walk the purple fields, escorted by occasional fireflies. The season's last crickets sing.
I've spent the last 20 years dictating what's right, what's wrong, which of you can live, which can die. My code. But I'm not one of you. None of this is mine. Not the sky, these fields, those stars. Even our flesh is different.
He takes her hand.
I can't help wondering what it would be like, even for a moment, just to be human.
Do normal men dream of being Superman, while Superman dreams of being normal?
Why dream the impossible?
Isn't that the whole point? Clark looks to Lana, but she smiles, shrugs it away, gestures now to an old apple tree on the edge of the field. We were standing right there, Halloween in the air. God, were we ever that young? She takes a long breath, and she can taste the past. You said you had to talk to me? We took a long walk. You were so urgent, so nervous.
Nervous? I was terrified.
So what exactly got Superman into this whole mental idea of I want to be human and not Superman? Is it just a responsibility? I mean, what are they trying to write with this script?
I don't know. I honestly don't. I don't get the Superman portion of it. He's just sulking.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all he's doing is sulking. We haven't... they know what to do with Batman. I'm like, I'll kill somebody. He'll get pissed off. He'll fight crime. Done. Easiest, motivation ever. With Superman, they're like, I don't know what to do.
He goes to Smallville.
He goes to Smallville. I could see that logic. He got divorced, so he goes back home. Now what? So... Alright, Lana starts them walking towards a tree. You took my hand, talked about the good you could do, how your powers were a blessing and you had to share with the world, and you lifted me in your arms. And we flew. We flew. I remember. Do you know what I thought you were going to tell me? I thought you knew with all my heart. I thought you were going to ask me to marry you. Clark stops dead in his tracks.
Lana?
Boy, was I wrong.
I didn't know. Oh God, Lana. I'm so sorry.
Don't be. It was the strangest, the most beautiful, and worst night of my life.
Why didn't you say something? Why didn't you...
How could I? I saw what you saw in yourself. In time, I saw what Superman became. You touched so many more lives than just those you saved. You represented so much more. But can I tell you a secret? I didn't fall in love with Superman. Tears are starting to spill down her cheeks now, so many held back for so long. I fell in love with that clumsy little boy with glasses. I fell in love with Clark Kent, and on that night I lost him, and I miss him terribly still. She looks down, trying to stem the tears. He reaches to her, lifts her chin with his finger. His eyes sparkle too.
I'm right here.
And they kiss, for all the years lost, and the kiss is good.
I think that's up to the actor, scriptwriter.
Yeah, it's like, they're just like, I don't know, was that a good kiss? Yeah, I guess, like, he's definitely the guy who was like, he should have been with Lana the whole time! Because, I can see the logic, I guess, like, oh, like, Lois was all into Superman, so if she found out Clark was Superman and married him after, she's marrying Superman, she's not marrying Clark.
Yeah.
I get it. It's fine. Alright, Kent Farm, wide shot. In Clark's window, see the silhouette of Lana leading Clark inside on this perfect night. Room lights now going dark. Old cemetery in Gotham. On the outskirts of Gotham, Batman walks the fog-shrouded night, past crooked gravestones, past dead, leafless trees. Kent Farm, night, intercut. Lana moves her arm across breeze-swept sheets, stirs awake. No Clark. She is alone. Lana rises to the window, body a shadow in the moonlight. Some other stuff. She's naked, probably. Cemetery, night. Batman comes to stand before one grave. Candles and dead flowers on the headstone. Batman swipes these tributes away with a crowbar, hefts a shovel, begins digging. As he digs at the hard earth, we move to reveal the headstone reads Jack Napier, but amongst graffiti and pentagrams, someone has scratched a name, the Joker. Back to the Kent barn. A single lantern illuminates the darkness. Clark stands staring up at the mighty ship.
Open fuel chamber.
Ship's voice. Warning, kryptonite radiation levels exceed maximum tolerance.
Do it!
A section of the hull becomes transparent, revealing a green rock within. 2 polarized doors open like wings. The bunker is bathed in a powerful green glow, washing over Clark. Instantly, his face pales, veins emerging. Back to the cemetery. Batman digs at the grave with greater effort and greater urgency, sweat dripping down his masked face. Back to the Kent barn. Clark reaches into the chamber and removes the glowing kryptonite with tongs. The effect on him is awful. Body contracting, organs being poisoned by the lethal radiation. Back to the cemetery. Batman tosses the shovel, falls to his knees, begins clawing the soil from the edges of a black coffin. Kent Farm. Clark drops to his knees, still holding the rock in tongs, manages to deposit it into the lead box, closes the lid. Cemetery. Batman climbs from the grave. On feet? He retrieves the crowbar, turning...
It's really hard to read.
Yeah, something from the coffin stops him. In the grave, dirt stirs as the coffin lid shifts. Then the lid slowly begins to rise. Back to the Kent farm. Clark places the familiar plastic evidence bag inside the transparent fuel compartment. Hatch doors close.
Commence engine startup.
The sundial readout flickers into life. The cemetery. Batman stands staring, eyes widening in disbelief. The coffin creaks open, ever so slowly. Then suddenly it springs wide, a ghastly, garish face rising up. It's a Joker in the box. A giant green-haired, white-skinned Joker face bobbing up and down on a spring-loaded sleeve. Mocking recorded laughter issues forth. Kent Farm. Clark stares into the fuel chamber, now beginning to glow.
It's kind of a creepy scene.
It is kind of. Well, the recorded laughter kind of reminds me of the end of the
89
first
Batman?
Yeah, 89 Batman. The it's just that's always like stuck with me ever since I saw it. Analyzing fuel sample. The evidence bag and mask within start to sear and burn. Cemetery. Batman swings the crowbar, smashing the leering Joker's face. He swings again, silencing the laughter, ripping into the papier-mâché skull. Kent Farm. The bag and mask melt away, leaving only tiny, hovering green particles staring up at Superman in the taunting shape of a laughing green ghost. What? What just happened?
He was trying really hard
Analyzing
to...
fuel sample. Bag, mask. What? I don't even know what happened.
The screenwriter's trying really hard to make parallels here
Yeah,
work.
I know. I guess the face was the... I don't even know what happened. He's got the mask from the beginning of the movie.
Right.
And I guess he's analyzing that? But I don't know what's happening. So a laughing green ghost. Let's go back to the cemetery, that's cool. And I know what's happening there. Batman hurls the entire Joker in the box from the grave, breathing hard, looking down to an empty coffin below. Pull back and up as Batman stands in the cemetery, fist wide, face to God, and screams. Go ahead, scream, Batman.
Well, if God's... So I guess God just cuts right into the picture, and Batman's just... Ah!
God just... What are you doing?
Knock it off.
Batmobile. The line roadway peels back in the wedge of headlines at impossible speed. Batman's mask is reflected in the glass. Alfred's face appears on the inside of the windscreen, framed by flickering telemetry. There's been a disturbance, sir, as you predicted, at Citizens Plaza.
You know, I just realized something. I've never actually heard Kevin Conroy do a Batman screaming. He's never once done that. I don't remember
done
him
a lot
ever,
of getting hit,
like getting hurt, and like the one time in the animated series when he gets really mad. I think it was Scarecrow got away, and he does like this really awkward growling, and I remember it exactly. He goes, ah, ah. And both Kelly and I were watching. We're like, "What the fuck was that? Like, was there a second take?"
I'll have to find that.
It reminded me of Tommy Wiseau from The Room, actually.
I still need to see that. There's been a disturbance, sir, as you predicted, at Citizens Plaza. Batman cuts the wheel hard, afterburner roaring, eyes fixed dead ahead, dark and rageful, determined. Citizens Plaza, Gotham City, night. Marked by a historical placard, the unbolted bat signal is now lifted by a forklift, operated by two men. Both are too tall, too lanky, wearing identical tuxedos. We do not see their faces. This theft occurs under the strobe of flashing red lights since two patrol cars are on the scene. Problem is, the responding officers lie insensate? Face down on the ground. Why didn't you just say unconscious?
Nope, insensate.
Insensate. One man guides the forklift while the other drives, depositing the bat signal in a waiting, outsized, armored car. The Batmobile skids to a stop, headlights glaring. Its driver's hood slides open as Batman leaps out, glancing to the downed officers as he strides forward.
That's public property.
Batman grabs one man, spins him. His face is pale, black eyes malevolent, his lips sewn shut. This is Jeeves 1. Jeeves 1 swings incredibly fast, but Batman is faster, ducking the blow, open palming the ghoul to the neck. Batman whips a club from his utility belt, smashes Jeeves 1 back and forth across the face, a final kick sending him flying into the wall. A growling Batman looks up to see Jeeves 2 as he jumps from the forklift, likewise monstrous lips sewn. Batman leaps forward, colliding with the ghoul in midair, spinning him as they fall. Landing hard atop the creature, Batman delivers a series of powerful blows. Now, is that any way to treat the hill, Batman? Batman reacts, standing. We recognize the terrorist's low, menacing voice, somehow amplified from above? You're not the only gentleman with a gentleman's gentleman. I've got myself a man Friday and Saturday. Jeeves 1 and 2 leap standing with an almost blurry agility and unnatural speed, looking impossibly unfazed. Although I didn't rest Sunday, I cooked up a few enhancements. The Jeeves turn toward Batman. Wet eyes gleam hungrily. Now, boys, patience. You can eat him later. Back to work. Reluctantly, the two Jeeves move like blurs back to the bat signal. Batman is trying to pinpoint the echoing voice. But why so confused, sweetheart? Don't you recognize my voice? Allow me to reintroduce myself. Batman's chilled as the voice changes, getting higher until it's reached a sickeningly recognizable sing-song. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going any higher. You know me because you made me. You loathe me almost as much as you love me. Ladies and gentlemen. Atop the armored car, a figure moves into the shadows. Girls and boys, behold, the new and improved, the one and only, the Harlequin of Horror. The figure steps forward into flashing red lights, arms extended, bullhorn in one hand, swagger stick in the other. The Joker! The Joker glares down, lean and lethal, in purple zoot suit, green-haired, white-skinned, grinning his wet, blood-red grin, literally from ear to ear. I love when they use literally, because then that's what's happening.
Turns into a cartoon.
Yeah, it's just like ridiculous Cheshire Cat. The man who will live in infamy as Batman's murderer. Woohoo! Now that's all that I call an entrance. Oh, terrific, dramatic. Batman, stunned, horrified.
How?
How? I came prancing back from the grave, and all you can manage is a meek monosyllabic how? A fair question, actually, but there's no time for answers right now. Joker tosses the bullhorn, does a handstand, flipping spryly down off the roof of the armored car, landing on his feet between Jeeves 1 and Jeeves 2. He smiles, lethal. We've got to hit the road. You've already met Jeeves 1 and 2. They'd say hello, but I prefer my manservants seen and not heard. Batman regains his rage, races towards them. Uh-oh, here comes Mr. Angry. At Joker's side, Jeeves 2 turns from the back of the armored car, now hefting a flamethrower and opening fire. As a jet of flame issues, Batman ducks, wrapping himself inside his cape. Batman completely engulfed by fire. As Joker and Jeeves 1 climb up, joining the bat signal in the rear of the armored car, Jeeves 2 ceases fire. Fare thee well, Batsy. Taps the bat signal with his swagger stick. I'll call you when I need you. Batman peers out from his smoldering yet undamaged cape. Jeeves 2 climbs up, joins Joker, in slamming the doors of the armored car, revealing a painted Joker face. Batman runs to grasp the door handles as they're heard locking. Joker presses his mouth against one of the gun slots, so very close, whispering, Tell me true, did you miss me? I sure missed you. We're going to have a blast. Joker laughs. Batman slams his fist against the door. The armored car sets into motion, pulling away. Gotham streets below, seconds later. The armored car crashes other cars aside, tires screaming. The Batmobile hits the streets, weaving through the aftermath, speeding in pursuit. Follow as rear doors of the armored car swings open. The Joker rears his clowny head, thumbing his nose. In the Batmobile, Batman grits his teeth, thumbing a control lever of the steering wheel as translucent crosshairs appear on the windshield, shifting as they attempt to lock onto Joker's head. But just as the system beeps, target lock, Joker tosses a child's play ball on the street. The colorful ball bounces high. The Batmobile swerves away as the ball bounces, exploding. At the back of the armored car, Joker laughs. Dude, I can't do a Joker laugh. You guys can all imagine it. Follow my bouncing balls, Batman! Jeeves 2 hands over another play ball decorated in yellow daisies, which Joker kicks out. The Batmobile swerves. Daisy ball explodes. Other cars react, crashing. Joker kicks a bright orange ball. The Batmobile falls back. Orange ball bounces, explodes. In the Batmobile, flames overtake the driver's hood for an instant. Batman shifts gears, accelerating. The Batmobile rages forward, ramming the armored car from behind. Joker squeals, holding on for dear life. Eee! The Batmobile rams again. Joker's freaked, reaching out, grasping for the door. In the armored car's cabin, Joker enters from the back of the truck. Jeeves 1 drives. It's getting a little too exciting back there. Go help your namesake. Daddy's gonna take the wheel. He replaces Jeeves 1 behind the steering wheel. The Batmobile makes its move, pulling up along the armored car's left side. Joker's driving now, jerking the wheel left, slamming the Batmobile. They're really flying, crashing together, sparks flying, metal crunching. Ahead, red light. A crowd of night denizens begins their march into the crosswalk from both sides as the Batmobile and armored car close fast, side by side, at full speed. Pedestrians scatter as the Batmobile brakes, skidding, falling behind with mere inches to spare as both vehicles zoom just barely between fleeing pedestrians. Batman grips the steering wheel.
Afterburners.
The computer beeps. On the street, flames blast from the Batmobile's exhaust. The Batmobile accelerates exponentially, overtaking the armored car cutting in front. Nozzles extrude from the Batmobile's bumper, spraying oil. At an intersection, the Batmobile blows through, roaring straight away while the Joker's armored car hits the slick, fishtailing, spinning. The armored car finally stops spinning, regaining its traction. Halts. Down the block, the Batmobile makes a tire-burning 180-degree turn, heading for the armored car. Oh, Jeeves! One of you be a darling and bring Joker the big gun. Joker puts the truck in gear, driving. On the street, the armored cars coming from one direction, the Batmobile's closing from another, picking up speed. Afterburners kicking in, and it all happens at once. Jeeves, too, leans from the armored car's passenger window, aiming a bazooka, and just as we recognize the smiley face painted on it, the missile's already on its way. In the Batmobile.
Eject.
Computer beeps. An explosion blasts off the Batmobile's hood and fires Batman upward like a fighter pilot ejecting.
So is the Batmobile destroyed now?
You always got to destroy the Batmobile. Like that happens in every other movie. Alright, on the street. With head-on collision imminent, Batman sent skyward as the missile whistles to impact, destroying the Batmobile in a tremendous explosion. But there's barely a moment to marvel at the shrapnel spewing explosion that used to be the Batmobile as the armored car smashes through at full throttle. In midair above, Batman flips, cape expanding behind. He aims a grappling pistol downward, fires. The hook shoots out, trailing fire. In the armored car, hoo-wee! It's not a party till something gets broken! Jeeves, too, dutifully rolls the passenger window up. Joker leans forward, looking up, searching. Now, where did the bat fly away to? The armored car speeds along, while above, Batman glides after, kept aloft by billowing cape, gripping the wire attached to the truck, pulling himself in, hand over hand. In the armored car, a heavy thud is heard on the truck's roof. Asked and answered! Joker growls as Batman jumps down to perch on the hood of the armored car, looking in. Pissed. Batman slams his fist against the bulletproof windshield. No effect. He brings out a batarang, uses it to gouge an X into the glass. Interesting. Batman starts punching the X, cracking the glass. Persistent, isn't he? On the hood, wind whips at Batman. He keeps punching the windshield, relentless, grunting with each strike. Punching, punching, punching! It's painful to watch, but he's managed to bash a ragged hole in the safety glass. Batman jams his hand through the hole, grasping at Joker. In the armored car, Joker's laughing as Batman desperately reaches for his throat, but Joker's just barely out of reach. That is literally how it's written, and I'm using literally correctly. Nice try, lover boy, but it looks like this is your stop. Joker brakes with both feet, pulling the handbrake. On the street, the armored car lurches, tires smoking, throwing Batman. Batman hits the pavement, rolling, tumbling brutally, coming to land in a heap. The armored car's headlights illuminate, yeah. Batman tries to rise. The armored car starts forward. Batman again tries to stand. The armored car is about to run him down. The armored car brakes violently, stopping within a foot of the helpless Batman. Joker emerges, walks to the fallen hero. Too bad your friend in the red and blue pajamas didn't kill me when he had the chance. Joker kicks Batman in the face with his steel-tipped boot. Too bad for you, and too bad for yummy Lizzie-Beth. Joker kicks are increasing in savagery. When you see her in hell! Joker stomps down on Batman's throat. Say hi. Joker's bearing down, crushing the life from Batman. That's when something odd happens. Both Jeeves grab Joker, pull him struggling off Batman. All right, I'm fine. I said I'm fine. A beat. The two Jeeves release him. Joker gathers himself, adjusts an imaginary necktie, steps toward Batman. Yes, the boys are right. Now's not the time, but don't despair, Brucey boy. Joker delivers one final kick to Batman's head. Savage. The Jeeves lurch forward, but Joker wards them off with upheld hands. An expression of surrender. Looks back down to the fallen Crusader, voice turning dead serious. You'll be tasting her cold kiss very, very soon. Batman can only watch the Joker walk away to his armored car, I guess. Batman slumps, bleeding, defeated. That was easy. There. Defeated Batman.
Done. Credits.
Done. Happened. It happened. Everybody, it happened. Alright, Kent Farm. Kitchen. Dawn. Clark sits at the table. He's holding the detached sundial readout in his hand. All the sections are now lit. Hey, didn't you used to sleep? Lana has entered from upstairs, dressed. Comes behind him, laying hands on his shoulder. What's that?
The ship that brought me to Earth runs on kryptonite.
Lana comes around the table to look at him.
Start her up. She automatically analyzes her own fuel type, like a car scanning to see if you put high test or regular in the tank.
My car would hate me.
I have a piece of evidence with kryptonite on it. I'm hoping my ship can recognize its subtype. Maybe I can link the kryptonite to some previous adversary.
That's why you came back, Clark. But he's already getting up, pushing out through the screen door and onto the porch. Lana catches the door, follows. The first hints of light illuminate ominous dark clouds gathering on the horizon. Cue incredibly, just cryptic but overused line now.
Storm's coming.
Lana says nothing.
What's the price for heroics, Lana? Prevent a murder and a murderer goes free? Save one life and something more may die as a result?
Clark looks toward the barn.
What if I can't go in there and read the scan? What if I stopped interfering, just stayed here in Smallville and lived a normal life?
The sundial beeps, the last section now lit. Scan complete.
I'm not human. Who am I to dispense justice to humanity?
When Lana's answer comes, there's a sadness to her smile. You're Superman. Clark just stares at her. Okay, that is the exact scene that happened in The Simpsons with Lisa and her substitute teacher.
Which part?
The very end of it, where she admits that she has this big crush, and she's like, "You're the only teacher that ever taught me anything." And he writes something down and hands it to her, and then goes on his train. And she opens up, and it just says, "You are Lisa." It's like, oh yeah, you are Lisa Simpson. It's just like, oh, thanks. All right, Clark just stares at her. Last night, you pretended to be just Clark Kent, and I let you pretend, but you're not. You'll never be. This completely nullifies everything that I said earlier. Clark starts to speak, but she doesn't let him. You may be alien, Clark. I may be human, but that does make us different. But it's our blindness that makes us the same. Human, Kryptonian, none of us knows what our actions will bring. So we act in ignorance. Every day, every hour, believing, despite all evidence to the contrary, that we can do some good. It's that belief that makes us common. It's our faith that makes us humane. Lana moves that lock of hair from his forehead again. We do good because we believe in good.
It's not that simple.
Yes, it is. She leans in and kisses him softly on the mouth. I've got to get to the hospital. Early shift. She steps down off the porch. Don't think I'm being selfless. How long could you leave your answers forgotten on the kitchen table? She gestures to the sundial in his hand. How many cries for help ignored before you'd start to hate what you'd done, and me for letting you? She takes a last look at her first, best love. How could you ever just sit back and let nature take its course, knowing you could save 100 lives, knowing you could save just one? You can't be the man who comes home from a hard day with roses, because your day would never end. That's lucky for the world. It's just unlucky for me, and for you. I love you. Goodbye, Clark Kent. And with that, Lana turns to go beneath the darkening sky. Victorian Mansion. Day. Somewhere upstate from Gotham, ornate fencing, rusted razor wire surrounds what must have been a beautiful Victorian mansion, once. Now abandoned, windows boarded up. The dining room. At a formal dining table, the Jeeves sit facing empty plates as Joker checks IV bottles running into their arms. You know, boys, too often we lose sight of what's really important. The simple moments, sitting down to dinner together as a family. Joker drums a feeding bottle with green fingernails. I just felt someone needed to say it, so why not me? Joker crosses the room to a serving table. On the wallpaper, Joker is dead, long live Joker, he who laughs best. I can't even describe the thrill I felt when I saw him again for the first time. The Jeeves watch him. One of their bottles gurgles. It was like a bolt of lightning through my body. Joker examines an array of Pyrex jars filled with colorful chemicals on a serving counter. Can you even begin to comprehend the shame he felt, the humiliation as he lay there, utterly defeated? Joker lifts a hypo spray, fills it with red elixir. Think of it! His tortured soul, his boiling blood, his every thought consumed by fantasies of revenge.
To be fair, this guy can write Joker pretty well.
Yeah, it's not bad. Joker injects the hissing... whenever we're reading the Joker, we don't make fun of it. We just keep going. Joker injects... Well, this is also the guy who wrote, 7.
Oh, that's true.
So he knows crazy motherfuckers pretty well. Joker injects the hissing ampule of red elixir into his arm, eyes rolling in pained ecstasy, although now he's a heroin addict.
So I'm assuming this is how he keeps alive, then. And that's how he keeps the two Jeeves.
Yeah, probably. More of Daddy's special formula makes the body ultra fast and extra strong. I guess it's just steroids.
Makes him, yeah.
Joker lifts a jar of the red liquid, turns it in his hand. And don't think your able-bodied assistance has gone forgotten. Joker sets the red liquid down, now lifts a jar of black fluid marked with an innocuous yellow smiley face sticker. Yes, death would have been far too simple. I've been in the ground, I know. You were right to stop me. He has to suffer first. Joker crosses to the two of them, holding the jar behind his back so they can't see its deadly black contents.
It's the symbiote.
It is a symbiote. Smiling symbiote. Here, I'm going to just say, here's your dedication, or thanks to your dedication, your slavish obedience to our, shall we say, higher power, I have only one question to ask. Joker has begun pouring the chemical into the Jeeves 4 bottles, making falling black clouds into the clear liquid. How dare you? The Jeeves look down at the black liquid hitting their arms. They grab for the tubes. Too late. Their faces are already starting to contort. Joker is suddenly calm again. You work for me. The Jeeves' stitches are tearing loose now, their mouths twisting upwards into horrible familiar death grins. Me and only me. The Jeeves' grins fix, eyes going wide, heads falling back. Until terminated. The Joker jumps up on the counter. Still, I must thank you, posthumously, of course. Were it not for your intrusive attentions, I would have lost my chance to savor his agony, to drink his tears, to clutch his misery in my hands, press it to my breast, cherish it. Joker shouts to the heavens, not just homicidal rage, but beneath, the real horror of madness. Oh, Bruce, I have your just reward. Listen, can you hear it coming? Listen. Joker closes his eyes, savoring the whispered thought. That gentle rustling, like leaves skittering across the sidewalk on an autumn day, of your last gasp as you beg for your death. The Batcave. Batman stands at the comm of the Bat computer. The main screen's
sectioned into
flashing something of the images of the Joker. Yeah.
He's the nightmare I can't awaken from.
Alfred stands watching, arms crossed, silent. A woman's voice. You should have changed the locks. Batman spins to see a figure standing atop the Axis stairway. Dark hair, flowing trench coat. Obviously, Barbara Gordon.
The dark-haired Barbara Gordon. What are you doing here with your dark hair?
With your dark hair. Barbara begins walking down the steps. I'd forgotten how big this place is. A little dusty, though.
I'll ask you again.
No, Bruce. That's what I'm here to ask you. She takes the folded paper from under her arm, drops it on the comm. Headline close. Batman fights Joker. Midnight mayhem. 4 buildings destroyed in the last 2 days. 15 criminals in the hospital. 6 on the critical list.
More than anyone, you know what these freaks are capable of.
They're not what scares me.
Spare me the melodrama.
Barbara walks to the edge of the platform. Computer, activate display lights. As you wish. The series of display case lights flicker onto life. Bruce shoots Alfred a sharp
Look.
He barely catches.
Barbara catches.
Barbara catches. Yeah, I guess it is Barbara.
Yeah.
Don't be angry with him. You programmed to respond to my voice. You used to like my voice, remember?
Oh.
She's basically the parallel for Lana at this point. Barbara is walking the cases. In the first two are older Batman costumes. Yeah! He's got the yellow! It's Adam West, and then it's like Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Two older Batman costumes. Next to them stands a sleek female version. I'm flattered you kept it. But it is the last two cases where she stops. One houses the familiar yellow and green of the Robin costume. The next, the black and red of a Nightwing gear.
Those are kind of really cool cameos, though.
Yeah.
Like, if you just saw that in the movie, you'd be like, oh, that's Nightwing.
Oh shit! He's dead! We don't get to see him! But there's his costume! Do you remember how happy he was to get out of those tights? This one made him look so happy.
Handsome.
Oh, is it? Where the fuck did I get happy? Alright, hang on. Yeah. So she's looking at the Nightwing costume. This one made him look so handsome.
You're right.
Why?
Why would Batman agree?
He's like, he was handsome. She glances up at him.
I should have changed the locks. Oh, okay. All right. All right.
Oh, okay, you're right. I should have changed the lock. You're right. She's like, what? I should have changed the locks.
Oh.
Oh. This is exactly what happened last time. Batman says nothing. After Dick died, how many did you almost kill? If I hadn't pulled you off Two-Face, what would you have done to him? You were becoming one of them. Okay, so Two-Face killed Nightwing, right?
Yeah, Dick Grayson. So, yeah, it would have been Nightwing. What should I do? What?
No, I was just wondering, like, because it's like they're throwing everything of the DC universe in here. So I'm wondering, like, you know, or was it like Two-Face that killed him? Because like maybe he just in his grief, like, I'm gonna go after the next criminal I see.
That's true. Batman would do that. Like, that's what he did with Damian right
Yeah.
after his death. He just went after all these criminals and destroyed them.
Yeah,
What should I do, Barbara? Hope your boys in blue catch him.
Bruce.
He murdered my wife.
Yes, he did, and I am so sorry. But look at you.
Down.
Something in the shadows, talking to a ghost. She swings her hand towards Alfred, and it passes through his head. So he's not a robot, so he's a hologram. He stands, entirely stoic, unperturbed. Plotting revenge? I don't know. I know what the dark does. Inside, we both do. He's killing you too.
You don't understand what it's like to lose.
Don't I? What about my father? What about you? Batman opens his mouth to speak, closes it again. That mask doesn't give you the right to kill. You will not cut a path of blood through my city.
Stay out of my way, Barbara.
Or what? She turns to face him, looking into his eyes, taking measure. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe this is what you want. What you've always wanted. Another excuse to hurt someone. Another call to violence. To cause so much pain that you don't have to feel your own. She open palms his chest plate, hard. Maybe the monster's in here.
Is that all, Commissioner Gordon? Because if so, I have work to do.
A beat. Then she turns and walks toward the stairs. Stop yourself, Bruce, before someone else has to. And with that, she's gone.
What's happening to me, Alfred?
Perhaps, sir, that is a question better asked for the living. Just then, a flock of bats flies upward from the darkness, shrieking, dispersing everywhere at once.
That's when everyone in the audience feels sad for Batman.
Oh, Batman. Okay, the Kent house. Living room. Dark. Wind howls. Rain sheets the windows. A newscaster is heard from a transistor radio on the sill. Severe thunderstorm warnings for much of the Great Plains. Over thunder. Wind slams the screen door again and again. The empty room is illuminated by lightning. A tornado watch has been issued for the following counties. Norton, Graham. Hold on the glowing sundial, sitting on the table, forgotten. Smallville, late afternoon. Cars, bundles hastily tied to roof racks, are streaming out of town. Clark walks the dark, pouring rain against traffic. Clark passes a car, pulled on the shoulder. Two men trying to shoulder it back onto the road, wheels spinning in the mud. Hey, buddy, can you give us a hand? But Clark just keeps walking. He passes a young woman shrieking hysterically for her son. Help me! Somebody! I can't find my boy! Somebody help me, please! But Clark just keeps walking against the column of slowly moving lights, deeper into the darkness. A man on a mission. He did not take Lana's advice to help people. He's like, fuck these people. Lana's house, late afternoon. Thunder cracks. Lana's battening storm shudders. The lights flicker. Outside, the sky is closed, night black. Lana goes to the window, the lights flickering again, now going out entirely. See what she sees. Outside, a single figure stands in the yard, illuminated by lightning, drenched by torrential rain. Clark. Langyard. Clark stands staring at Lana. To his right, maybe a mile off, the dark demon of the tornado can now be seen ripping through cornfields, heading toward the lights of Smallville.
And Kevin Costner is right in the middle, holding his hand out, like,
It's like,
don't.
No. No, don't do it. No. Let's see. Lana holds his eyes. Again, with the holding of the eyes. So, if anybody's listened to the last one, there's a lot of holding people's eyes. She's like, pew! Like, whoa! They just start firing off. She can see the tornado behind him now, heading away, her house spared, the twister hungry for the richer terrain of the small and helpless city beyond. The tornado is raging behind him, fires and debris exploding upward in distant plumes. Still, Clark holds her gaze, unmoving. Then slowly, he drops his head. Lana almost smiles, her eyes shining with tears. He's gonna punch a tornado.
He's going to pull a Hercules and grab it and throw it into space.
Yeah. Clark lifts his head in slow motion, lit by lightning, rain steaming off him in rivulets, eyes burning. Lana sees him, his head whipping up impossibly fast, arms going over his head like a winged prayer, and he is gone. Clark shoots straight into the blackened sky, glasses whipping off in the sheer, higher, faster wind, literally tearing off his clothes to reveal Superman.
Looks like you may have to do your Superman voice soon.
I know. If it says Superman, then it's Superman. If it says Clark, Clark voice. A roaring tornado tears across sprawling fields of wheat and corn. It hurtles debris, cutting a swath of destruction as it rages towards a nearby roadway. There's an old 4x4 truck speeding down the road, heading for town, but the tornado is closing fast. An old farmer drives fearful. His old wife is the passenger. Their dog, probably old, is in the back seat, barking at the tornado out the rear window. Old wife checks back, frantic. "It's coming, Frank! It's coming! I'm driving as fast as I can go! Dear, I don't think we're going to be fast enough!" Old farmer ducks to check the rearview mirror, worried. "Me neither!" Out the rear window, the funnel looms larger, closer, its shadow darkening the truck's interior. The dog keeps barking. Old farmer bends forward, willing the truck to go faster. Debris begins to rain down on the road ahead. Old farmer reaches to clutch his wife's hand. "Love you, Joni. I love you, Frank." Debris pounds down. He wraps an arm around her. The dog lets out a yelp. The windshield cracks. Old wife screams. "Hold on!" The truck begins to lift as the tornado sweeps them into the maelstrom, the world outside turning, upending horribly. Suddenly the truck jars, as if struck and somehow impossibly rights itself, steadying as the horizon returns horizontal. Which is good because it's the horizon. Needs to be horizontal. The truck's still flying, though, moving away from the disaster, leaving the tornado behind. Superman flies down carrying the truck. He's above, holding it by its roof rack, so he's not seen by the old farmer or old wife inside, nor by their dog, for that matter. Superman gently... because the dog's gonna rat him out. "Superman!" Oh, Jesus. Superman gently places the truck down beneath this rusty bridge, providing meager shelter from the storm. Superman rises away, glancing back, flying off. In the truck, old farmer and old wife still hold each other, finally parting to open their eyes, disoriented, uncertain. "Sweet Lord, what happened?" I'm not sure. Are we dead?" "This is heaven?" Old farmer and old wife lean forward together, peering out at the dripping underside of the bridge. "Looks like Kansas." The dog pops up from his hiding place in the back, barks. Edge of Smallville, day. The Twister roars on, ripping up telephone poles, transformers exploding. It's throwing cars, devouring pavement, heading towards Smallville, Main Street. On the sidewalk, a father rushes with 2 sons toward the slamming door of a public storm shelter. A boy glances up. "Look, Daddy, it's a bird!" 2 women... God damn it. 2 women are trying to get their Razorbacks into a Volvo. One dog begins barking excitedly at something in the sky. "Is that a plane?" A vendor hastily slams his store gate grate closed, looks nervously over his shoulder. Something catches his eye. "It's Superman."
Like it happens every day.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's Superman. It's just, well, it's like, I mean, I appreciate that the old, like, bird playing Superman thing from, like, the cartoons in the old show, but it's like, it doesn't work anymore to me. Like, I know it's a classic, I know people love it, but it just, even when you try to do it all, like, cool and, oh, we slid it in there, like when they're looking at the picture in the Superman Returns, I'm like,
right.
What is that? Is it a bird? No, it's plane. Like, it was funny, but like, you have to do it as a joke. Like, you can't do it.
Do it serious, yeah.
All right. A red and blue streak cuts straight at the tornado. Superman begins soaring around the tornado, circling it clockwise, battling the counterclockwise twist of the tornado's 400-mile-per-hour winds. Apparently the tornado, like, is so fast that it's blurred up this sentence. Superman spins, I don't know, disappears, blur motion, forming his own blue-red whirlwind tornado within the tornado, in the opposite direction. With an animalistic shriek from the vortex, Superman is thrown, hurtling across the sky.
Superman shrieked.
He's like, ah! Spinning out of control until he holds his arms out, slowing, righting himself, turning to look as the tornado is dying from the ground up. He's killed it! Twisting arms of wind faltering, eddying like ghostly tendrils, swirling to nothingness. A golden shaft of sunlight shines down upon Smallville like a blessing bestowed, a vision of heaven on earth. So, exterior, Lana's house, afternoon. The last clouds are clearing, dappled sunlight illuminating the front porch. Lana emerges from inside. Hold on her expression now, going from puzzlement to smiling wonder. Pull back to reveal. The porch is covered with roses. Hundreds of roses. Barn doors stand on the Kent farm. Barn doors stand open in the golden light. Kent barn, after storm. Track across the floor to the open pit to find Clark fighting the sundial readout back into the ship's hull.
Display fuel fingerprint. Identify kryptonite. Processing request. Data follows.
Push in on Clark as he stares at the scrolling readout.
No.
And that's a good part to stop it at. We're on page 74 of the 2002 Superman vs. Batman script that was never made. How many pages are in this one? There are,
let's see, 120.
120 pages. So that's another third basically down on the script, I would say, because we started at 30 something, right?
Yeah, we started at page 30 today, so we're at 74. So it's a really good chunk. So we got some new information. Joker's back from the dead,
right?
And that's it. That's the new information.
Yeah, he's got Gimp from Pulp Fiction working for him.
Yeah,
keeps him alive with
he's got
chemicals.
2 of them.
And, he's got 2 of them. One of which was almost Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
And I guess Clark and Lana are the new thing, and Barbara never hooked up with Bruce.
Yeah.
She just yelled at him.
They'll hook up later. It's fine. Once the movie ends, they'll look at each other and go, "Well, remember we had something before we got married?
Yeah.
You were hitting on me at your wedding. Remember that?" So, all right, cool. So, page 74, and we'll probably be able to finish up in that last one. So it looks like it's going to be a 3-parter. But it's a good place to start. We need to find out what this whole kryptonite thing is.
Mm-hmm.
We need to. It's good. And he punched a tornado.
And he shrieked as he was thrown from it. Defeated by a tornado. So that'll wrap it up for number 68. We'll try to finish off the last part of the script, hopefully sooner rather than later. And that'll do it. I'm Daniel.
I'm Alex.
Connect on Twitter at Reasons I'm Broke. Let us know what you thought of the script reading. Once again, at Reasons I'm Broke, # Superman vs. Batman. See you next week.
Later.